It's MAGA hat Monday.
White House has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. Unauthorized immigrants, 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 unauthorized immigrants.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Good morning and happy MAGA Hat Monday on this Tuesday morning. It's the MC Too Tall Show. I am your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, the master of sound quality MC Too Tall. Well. Donald Trump is at it again, trolling the press, boys, just trolling the press. And this is another W. After the judges were arrested, after that 100 migrant bust in Colorado, now this. Trump posted lawn signs, each one with a different migrant criminal featured on there, and underneath that picture, the crime they've been convicted of. And you have correspondents bitching about due process of these people that had their due process in court. These are people who have been tried and convicted of the crimes posted under their image on these lawn posters. And mind you, these are people who didn't go through due process to get into the country to commit these crimes. So these are convicted felons, and you can look at some of them, like the ones posted in the display here. Rape, sexual assault on a child, murder, rape. You have people that rape and murder our women and children in these streets all across America. They're tried for their crimes, they're convicted of their crimes, and people are worried about these non-citizens who committed crime on U.S. soil. And vicious, violent crimes. Things they certainly would be appalled about if these things were done to their mothers. And these judges who aid and abet the criminals belong in jail. They're supposed to put these criminals or these suspects, these defendants of these crimes, through their due process to determine whether or not they are guilty as charged. But instead, you have people like this judge, Hannah Dugan, who has a suspect in her court. She has a suspect in her court. And what does she do? She knows this person is on trial for committing a violent crime. This is a person who assaulted a woman. This is a domestic violence abuse. And you know, I'm a major advocate against domestic violence. Some of you might not know that, but now you know. I'm always an avid speaker against domestic violence. I despise men who forfeit their manhood and commit domestic violence. These people are weasels that prey on people weaker than themselves and cower at the very presence of a real man. And so this weasel that's on trial for domestic violence gets whisked out the back door of the courtroom, and judging by the way Judge Dugan looked, she probably did it because she thought she would get some from the criminal she's aiding and abetting later on. But what do I know? I'm just a guy with a Goodfellas hoodie and a MAGA hat. And so, this fat tramp gets arrested, and so does Judge Jose Cano, who with his wife harbored a gangbanger and even took pictures drinking beer with these gang members, throwing up signs. And so people of that ilk have been posted all along the White House lawn, along with the crimes they've been actually tried and convicted of. So don't tell me about due process. You dirty, dirty scums of the earth, you. And there is where the problem lies. So many levels of hell where belong the left, and crime runs rampant because of the Democrats. Look at all this crime displayed on the White House lawn, on these lawn signs, because of the Democrats. If not for the Democrats, you wouldn't see these pictures on the White House lawn. But there you have it. So it is depicted, so it is written, and so it is done. And people of the press, no matter what side of the aisle your supposed news slants, which news should not be biased, it should be calling stuff down the middle, allowing for the viewer to form their own opinion. But it is what it is, and you have leftist news outlets. So even if you are of a leftist news outlet and you put a correspondent on the White House lawn, this is where you're stationed, and thus these signs are seen in the background. Now, some of these leftist networks are blurring the pictures of these not innocent people. They're blurring the pictures of these proven in a court of law guilty parties. But that's okay. You just tune into another network like Fox, and you'll have Peter Ducey reporting on it with the signs in their full glory standing behind him. And I like Peter Ducey. He's a critical, question-asking reporter. And now this is what goes on in America. You have different factions of politics, and then different factions of news to go along with it, which I believe news should just be called down the middle. I don't recall Frank Reynolds bashing Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan. I don't recall Walter Cronkite doing that. All that started around the time Dan Rather took over. But it's been happening for a while, but I could recall a time when bias in news wasn't that evident. Just saying. But since there is, regardless of where the news is biased, their correspondents have to now be put in front of these signs, and what those signs represent, whether you blur the pictures or not, are there for all the world to see, and it is known to the viewer. Which means there is going to be a percentage. There's no telling how large or small that percentage is going to be, but there will be a percentage somewhere higher than zero, which is good enough, of left-leaning news outlet viewers who will see this and say, hey, that's a lot of people committing crime in our country because of the Democrats. Maybe I should stop voting Democrat for a while, for at least a while. And then down the road, they'll see that maybe they should stop voting Democrat for the rest of their lives. A lot of what Donald Trump got out of the voting public were votes from longtime Democrats who were sick and tired of what they were seeing in the lawfare against Donald Trump, whether they agreed with his policies or not, and in the policies of the party they've been supporting for so many years. You had some people supporting the left who were critical thinkers, who live in our inner cities, who see our inner cities run by Democrats in shambles, and they get constant support from their constituents and get crapped on by the very people they support for years. So this signage not only serves as a troll, but serves strategically as a reminder to the voting public what happens when you cast your vote in what is obviously an ill-informed and wrongful manner, or a misinformed and wrongful manner. And thus, there's a method to the madness and a clear strategy behind the trolling. And I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it. To me, this is another W. Win, win, win. And the only thing I disagree with Donald Trump on now is the part where he says you're going to get tired of the winning. And here we are, comfortably after the first 100 days. And I'm not tired of winning yet. Sorry, Mr. President, I'm not tired of winning yet. I'm still waiting to get tired of this winning. But that doesn't mean to stop what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And Christ be with you. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Please follow and share my wonderful content. Hit that bell so you get the reminders that I'm posting new content. I'm on new content virtually each and every day. Stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. I am a hip-hop legend, recording engineer, your underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. Until the next episode.